F.E.A.R 3 Insane Difficulty Walkthrough, brought to you by BustedDpad.com. This is Interval 2 Slums as Paxton Fettel. So I cut out the first part of this level because it's mostly just walking in the sewers and a bunch of bullshit happening. And I'm searching this area over here because allegedly this is one of the few Almadal locations, but every time I checked, I've been unable to find it. So, first thing I recommend doing is taking over that guy because you also get that easy backstab, and you really want to have a gun when you take out or fight against this group of enemies. Because they have lots of cover, so you want to be able to use it as well and use weapons against them. As a whole, this level is actually, in my opinion anyway, easier as Paxton Fettel than it is as Point Man. If only because the last section of the level where you fight your first phase caster is a lot easier because the tactics will change, because the sequence itself is different, because I wanted to test something, and I'll point it out when the time is right, when we get there. But taking that guy on as Point Man is difficult because you really have to take him out, and he's got lots of cover, and you usually have to use a sniper rifle and the like, and it's kind of tough. So this sequence here isn't too tough. If you just take your time and use cover, you really shouldn't have too much of a problem with it. The only difficult part here is you want to get into as many of these bodies as possible. If not, just use this tactic that I'm using here. You try and pull a guy up, levitate him, and then try and use as much cover as possible and just take him out with a couple blasts. What sucks about this area here is I would have rather to run through it, but you can't go anywhere until this guy up here opens the door. That guy who's shooting at me now. So the next area is the area where normally, as Point Man, you pick up the sniper rifle in that house to the left. I tried to do this a little bit differently. What I was going to do was wait for them to come at me, and then they didn't. So I ran into this house over here. I figured, screw it, I'm going to take these guys out. But they actually ran out of the house in a different direction, which is weird. This part here is a little bit difficult only because it's going to be tough to get enough juice to come into your bodies. But there's definitely one guy that I want to get, and he's on that balcony kind of off to the right of the screen right now. Alright, so those guys dropping the helicopter. No big deal yet. Just wait and try and save your juice, because we gotta go possess that guy. Alright, he comes out of a door, so you have to wait for it to open before you can actually take him over. But trust me, it's worth waiting for him. The only problem with taking this guy over is that he's one-time use unless you can take everybody out and sweep up the red goop downstairs, but it's really not worth doing. And once this section is clear, a guy with a shotgun is going to come barreling out of a door way in the background, and that's the way we're going to have to go. I wanted to possess him, but I didn't have enough spirit juice.
The target is to be put down. Disregard locals whose indiscriminate targeting is needed.
And just don't pay attention to what I'm doing right now. I was just looking to see if there's an alternate path to the next area, but there's not, because I got kind of sick of dropping down that stupid fucking hole. Alright, so what you're about to see is a really ballsy move on my part. I wouldn't exactly recommend it, but it'll work if you make it work. You can just jump up here and take these guys out, but it was... I'd never done this before. I figured it was worth trying, and as you can see, it almost didn't work. But screw it, if you want to try it and make it work, be my guest. You can stay down in that little hut right underneath where that guy that I just picked up is. That's a good place to stay. But you're gonna have to come up the steps to this area anyway, because that door I just looked at, that needs to open in order to progress. I'm just having difficulty picking these guys up so I can shoot them.
Get to cover!
They already blew up, but there's a couple oxygen containers on the right side of this room. Just be careful of those when you're up here. And when the guy's gonna come open the door, you'll hear him coming. Here he comes. So, I'm gonna take him over and take this dude out here. And in this room, right here, this is normally where the Almadal will be. It was for me. If it's not, there's another location I'll show you later on where it could be. This area here is nothing special. There's just a couple guys here to take out on the floor. Watch this guy here, and then this guy that comes out of the house. Alright, so here's the mech sequence. You do want to get your hands on a body. Only because you want to be able to grab the rocket launcher up here, but don't worry if you don't have a body, or if you can't get your hands on one, or if you get shot out of the one you're in. I'm not quite sure if that's going to happen to me. Don't worry, because the regular blasts that F.E.A.R has will be enough to take this mech out. It's just easier to do with the rocket launcher. If all else fails, there's another guy that you can possess who's right next to a stash of rockets. I think I'm going to show him in a little bit. Once he shows up, you can jump to his building, take him over, and he's got rockets next to him, so that'll give you an advantage if you want to use those as well. This guy right here. I actually recommend jumping into his body no matter what. This gives you an angle on anybody who's on the top of that building and anybody who's coming through that fence. Also, you can pick up more rockets if you want. I was really mad that they shot me out of that body. Okay, so The location I'm about to show is allegedly, well, it's been confirmed as an Almadal location, but I've never found it here before. If you just jump over here into this nook, it's supposed to be over there, but I've never seen it there. Make sure you do it before you go into that fence because it closes. Now, if you have the juice to do so, I recommend you take this guy here. He gives you an angle on pretty much everybody in this area. This is another one of those. You have to kill everybody before a dude opens a door, and then you take him over, or whatever. You can't progress until you take all these enemies out. I was looking around because I could swear I saw that door you could open, but it was just this door. So you can jump around the rooftops now. I thought I could jump along the rooftops. I'm actually trying to go open that door, but it's not open yet. That door. Because there's one guy down here still. Alright, so try and get out of the body with enough spirit left to take over one person. This is the sequence with the phase caster. This is the end of the level, essentially. You don't have to take the phase caster out. What you really need to do is just make it to the helicopter. And playing as F.E.A.R, that's actually really easy to do. If you want to possess one of the first guys that he spawns in here, be my guest just to take these guys out. But you don't have to, but make sure that when you make it to the next area, 'cause there's only one checkpoint left, make sure that when you get to the next area, you have enough left to do one more possession. Now, this phase caster will sometimes only shoot in one wave of guys. Sometimes he'll do two. And if he does two, there's a real likelihood that, as you can see, I'm getting shot from above. There's a balcony up there to the left, and he'll probably shoot them to there if he gets the chance. Alright, now this is the last sequence here. Let him shoot these guys in. One will always... They're pretty much always in the same locations. Although sometimes he'll send in two guys next to you over here. But don't possess any of these guys. It's not necessarily going to hold on to it.
Get back! Check it!
Alright, run up here and take cover in this little cubbyhole. Wait for him to shoot in the next guys. Now you're looking up where I'm looking. You want to grab this guy. He'll always shoot a guy in this location. So just shoot up there, possess him. He's going to put you right next to the caster, but just run past him and run to the helicopter. And that's the end of the level.